Welcome to the Black American channel of the free and the brave. Today we're talking about Black folks, Black Americans crying wolf. Now, what do you mean, Black American? Let me tell you what I mean. For many years, my people have been struggling. Racism, slavery, all that, Jim Crow, slave laws, KKK. But we have we have endured, and we are here today in the Lord's year of 2026. And we have every single thing we've been fighting for, believe it or not. But some like to think we're not as privileged as we actually are. And they believe racism is as strong as it was pre-60s when we couldn't vote, before the Civil Rights Act and the Civil Rights Movement. Absolutely ridiculous. I am not on that train. So today, people think we are in a Jim Crow 2.0 era. And this is speaking on specifically of the current redistricting debacle, dilemma, situation, issue that's going on, right? And they believe that everyone is still racist. Everything is about race. Guess what? At this point, you're crying wolf. People like me are tired. Other races of people, groups of people, demographics of people are tired of it because we can see Black people are not being held down in bondage like we used to be. We have to get to a certain point where we realize that we have everything we've been fighting for. There's even a term called what do the blackity blacks say? Microaggression, where they believe that everybody non-Black has internalized racism to the point where every little thought, action, reaction, gesture has some form of racism baked in the center, to the core. People followed you in that store not because you're Black, because you look like a thug and that you might steal. The police officers pulled you over not because you're Black, but because they ran your license plate and you got a suspended license, no insurance, and the vehicle isn't registered. And not to mention all the accounts of police officers saying that they literally can't even see in the vehicles and see the race of people that they're pulling over. It so happens to be Black people just out here riding dirty at a higher clip than other people. We have to get some form of accountability, some form of awareness to realize we're winning. And people are waiting for us to realize that and catch up and start working hard on our own community. Look in the mirror, make a change with yourself. MJ taught me that. And once you do that, you'll make a change with your family, which will ultimately make a change within your neighborhood, which will ultimately make a change within your community, and then your city, districts, state, and country. But it starts with you. What are you doing about that? Now, I'm gonna hurry up and get through this video because the wifey is upstairs cooking, and your boy is famished. Now, we're gonna hop into this video. We're gonna be reacting to a video by none other than Stacey Abrams, who is just another race hustler. Just another race hustler. Throw her in the pot with Al Sharpton, Dr. Umar, whoever else you could think about. Throw in this pot, and let's go ahead and get to it. If you made it this far, just go ahead and leave crying wolf. down in the comment section. Give me some interaction. Leave a little bit more in your comments so we can have a conversation. Let's go ahead and get into this video so we can react.
Could you talk a little bit about how this ruling will affect Black representation, not only at the federal level, but at the state level? I'm thinking state lawmakers, county commissions, city councils. To what extent will this ruling affect representation and the representation, particularly of voters of color, at the levels below the federal level?
Absolutely. And that's why I think this is such an important conversation to have at this moment. In a competitive authoritarian nation, which is what America is now, democracy is about ensuring that we have shared power and shared voices. It does not guarantee you victory, but it guarantees you access. Authoritarianism, especially competitive authoritarianism, attempts to diminish your ability to use those same democratic institutions to your benefit. With these new maps, we know that analysis by Fair Fight and Black Voters Matter show that we could lose 19 to 20 congressional seats, but we could lose up to 191 state legislative seats. And in the South, those state legislators draw city council districts, county commission districts, school board districts, and they draw state legislative lines. And so if you want to know if your child is going to have fair and equitable access to education, that will be diminished if your families can't participate in elections and elect leaders who value your education. If you want health care in the South, it's the state legislature that decides whether you have access. All of the things that disproportionately harm communities of color will now be decided by people who disproportionately dislike and vote against the needs of people of color. But what we have to remember, and this is why I started the 10 Steps campaign, this is a national fight. It may start in the South, but it has national implications. Progress that serves the most disproportionately harmed communities lifts everyone. But if we do not do so, if we allow the suppression of Black and brown votes, we are harming their neighbors and we're harming the U.S. And that's why we cannot allow the South to be left behind. We need national intervention because they are starting in the South. But this is a national attempt to misuse democratic institutions to suppress all of the communities who fight for democracy in this country.
All right. So she said a lot. She said a lot of absolute absurdity, by the way. I got to say that because, for one, she said we're living in a competitive authoritarianism society. No, we live in a capitalistic society, which is actually the best society that you can live in. I don't care what you say and what you think. I'm not here about no socialism, no communism. Those are, in fact, the worst types of societies that you can ever ask for. Ask North Korea, ask Venezuela, Cuba, ask all these failing countries and all the ones you can look up in the past. Not here for it, not standing for it. Capitalism all the way, because it breeds people who want to make it in life. And if you want to make it in life, then you're going to capitalize on business, capitalize on certain social relationships and things of that nature. Get that understood. Also, the Black vote. What Black people lost the right to vote? We're not suppressing votes. Redrawing districts where you can't use race as the primary factor to draw those districts? Isn't that what you guys are fighting for, Democrats? You're actually antithetical to your exact motives and states towards the Black civil rights movement. You're literally asking for racist practices to be carried out by the government. Think about that. Think about how ass backwards the movement has become. So we're asking to be racist at this point. And we're not having it. We're not having it. Now, I don't know if you heard this, because Stacey, you stated that Black people would not be represented by people who look like them, and insinuating that white people won't have Black people's best interest in mind. Who freed the slaves? Republicans. Abraham Lincoln. The Union who fought and died, thousands of them, to free the slaves. Who created the KKK? Democrats. Look it up. Sustain on the party that you vote for. And I don't know if you heard that before, but white people have helped us out all through history. And in fact, we are such a small percentage of the population to where we could not have anything if it wasn't for white people who were being benevolent and saw humanity in us and wanted us to have equal rights, equal say, equal representation. We don't want Black people to just be all lumped together, because what do you guys like to say? We're not a monolith. How are we not a monolith when we vote 92% towards one party? That sounds like a monolith to me. What else do I got here? Fair schools, fair healthcare. For whatever reason, you think that breaking up Black only legislative districts will somehow inhibit the growth and the prosperity of Black people. Can Black people not thrive next to people who don't look like them? Because last I checked and looked, Black-run cities and states are in turmoil. You seen Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, Atlanta, Memphis. Who wants to move there? Why? So I can get robbed? Get my life taken? I would never send a child of mine to a school there. It's like a 13% literacy rate. They can't read. They can't read. They can't tell time. They don't know their names. They don't know what address they live at. Maybe white people need to come in and show us a thing or two. Maybe they could hire our IQ on average. We know we got the lowest IQ. Why are we trying to go? We are actually trying to go back into Jim Crow without even knowing it. We want to keep, you're literally asking for things to be racist and to keep things segregated. Do you not hear yourself speak? It's absolutely mind-blowing. The words and things that we hear, it's like you don't even think about it. It's that you've been programmed so much that what you say doesn't even make sense, and you don't even care that it doesn't make sense because you don't think about the things that you're saying. There's no cognitive analysis. It's just, they've said this in the past, so we got to keep saying. No. The racism, the calling of racism stops here, because at this point you're crying wolf because it's not racist to break up districts without using race. Funny idea, isn't it? And people can see this. People are like, isn't this what they wanted? Isn't this what MLK fought for? 60 some odd years later, we're fighting for resegregation. How about that? How about that, Black people? How contradicting can we possibly be? Another reason why I left. Because contradiction is pouring out of Democrats' asshole. I mean, just flowing. It's flowing like butt mud. Flowing. I can't understand it. Makes no sense. And I'm done. Now I'm going to chop this video down right here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 9,000 subscribers. Your boy is hungry, so I'm about to go upstairs and eat because I'm Black. I can do whatever I want. And we can even marry white women now. Shout out to the lovely wife upstairs. I'm hungry. Make sure you leave your comments down in the comment section so we can have a conversation. Black people, stop crying wolf. Let's have some accountability. This is the Black American Channel of the Free.